Welcome to the future. The year in the 6,000 year Hebrew human calendar, dating from the first human being. The year is 5,777. And as we approach through these next few hundred years, the 1,000 years of woman, all the secrets of the world will become available to everyone, seen by all. And those things that have been built during these 6,000 years that do not nurture woman will dissolve. And one of the lies, one of the big lies, why is it such a big lie? Because the worst lie is one where one lies by not telling the truth. Well, that seems all lies are not telling the truth. In other words, that just by holding back the truth, it becomes the lie. Maybe all lies are like that. I don't really know. But the worst of the lie is the lie of abortion. Because it is well known in the ancient books, in the Torah, in the Quran, and in modern medicine, that the baby becomes a baby. The embryo becomes an embryo at 41 days after conception. And this is clearly written in the Torah. It's also written in the Quran, but in a more general way, describing what the embryo looks like, which that's what it looks like at 41 days. And science says that the zygote, which happens at the end of that happens at conception, becomes an embryo at 41 days, because things change radically at 41 days. And the Kabbalists explain that at 41 days, during the 40 days, the placenta is being made, the afterbirth. And at 41 days, the soul is imprinted into the body. And only at 41 days is the term abortion applicable, because if a woman were to terminate a pregnancy before 41 days, it is not an abortion. Why? Because God is pro-choice. God gave every woman 40 days to decide whether she wants to have a baby. And if she doesn't want to have, then what is she doing? She's destroying the placenta. And it's not now possible for a baby to be imprinted into her. And this is not an abortion. And it is very clearly written in the Talmud, in the very beginning, in the Mishnah. And the fact that people know this and allow other people to fight about something that has no credibility whatsoever, which is that the child begins at conception. And also that once the man gives the sperm to the woman, it belongs to her. And he has no right to tell her what to do with it, either to have a baby or not to have a baby. This is completely her choice, because God is pro-choice. And that religion should be championing this without telling people it was written in the ancient books, is really, I don't know. It's really not right. It's like putting a stumbling block in front of the blind, because people, all people, I mean, we feel for babies, and we should feel for everyone, but we certainly feel for babies. And that the people who we trust, both with the spiritual and the physical knowledge, would be lying to us about this, and letting people fight and making political hay over this, when what they're teaching people is completely inaccurate. And for those who contend that they are the somehow the leaders in this ancient knowledge, they've kind of taken a hold of it, and they give the last word. In the same way that academia gives the word in a secular way, and these are kind of the what people look towards when we're looking for the truth. And they've been lying to us. They've been lying to us from the very beginning of a big bang, of something coming in out of nothing, when what really happened was nothing came out of something. And not that we evolved from apes to humans, but rather that we have evolved from spiritual to more physical, because God wanted to be known in low. And we are low, and by acknowledging the Creator, what do we get? We get closer to the Creator. And to understand how creation is created, how it works, what are the basic rules of creation. And all this is going to become very visible and very and very accessible to every person on the earth during these few 100 years, while we're going towards the year 6000, which will begin 1,000 years of woman. So, and that will be the completion of the 6,000 years, coming into the 7,000th year. But it doesn't just happen, one doesn't just end and one begins, but rather there's a transition point. And the transition has been going on for some time, and much of it is embedded into the Mayan calendar, which ended in 2012, which was really ready for the birth of this new human being. And that's why we were directly opposite to the center of the solar system. It was dilation. And now we're in the time of pushing, and everything is about woman, and that's the idea of the 777, an indication that we are entering into the time of woman. And that's why revolution is so important, because the world has just been dominated by male interests. And what we need, what we all want, is to see our women happy. And therefore, we need to stand up together and make this revolution in a simple way, by on election day, not buying anything. If all of us together, 100 million people, didn't buy anything on one day, this would wreck the economy. This would bring down these people and show them that we, the people, that we're in charge, and they're going to do our will, or we will make sure they don't make any money whatsoever. They'll have nothing to put in the Bahamas or anywhere else. They won't have anything. And we're the people, we can do that. We need to do that, and we need to shift the dialogue of what creation is, from something coming out of a big bang into something being embedded inside of light, where the Creator is watching each one of us and interested in everyone's story, and no one's really better than anyone else, only in certain pragmatic ways. But otherwise, we're all jewels before the Creator, and the Creator loves all of us. And we need to do something radical at this time, because the year 5777 was predicted to be a year of Geula, of redemption, and the biggest redemption of all is revolution. So welcome to the future.